We are going to be talking about depression. And you know, it's so easy to spot depression when you see somebody is sad, when you see someone is closed off to themselves, when you can see that their behavior has changed. But there are people out there who are very high-functioning depressed people. The happiest person, the one who's always smiling, the one who's always telling jokes, always laughing, you can be shocked just how sad and depressed that they are. I don't know what's happening over here. Someone, hey, Katamu, are you okay? This is a safe place. It's a safe place, my dear. Fungua roho.
Sema sisi nini nakuwa.
But basically, like, as much as we're trying to make light of the situation, it's really important to check up not only on the people who are exhibiting signs of depression, but also those who are not. Check up on your very, very happy friend. Let me tell you, especially for like me personally, I'm not the type of person, first of all, getting information out of me is already a struggle, yeah? I don't like opening up in general unless like I'm forced to open up. Now, I feel as if like when I'm going through my deepest, darkest times and everything, you would actually have to like crack away at me to get me to open up. I'll be there, ha ha ha, kiki, laughing with you, but also be going through something very difficult and everything. So it's important to check up on your happiest people. And how do we spot a high-functioning depression, high-functioning people who are depressed? The number one thing is just basically caring about people. If you're genuinely just asking somebody, how are you? Are you okay? Are you fine? Checking up on your friends and family and everything, especially those ones who are always the ones who are the happiest, eventually they'll let you know. I know for me personally, especially because I struggle with opening up about things, if you ask me long enough, I'll eventually tell you. Yeah. It's just that you have to have the patience to continuously be asking and asking and asking. And if that's your close friend or your close family member, then you will be able to do that and continuously be checking up on them. Eventually you'll get to like the root of the problem.
Yeah, I completely agree with the fact that there are many high-functioning depressed people, and I am one of those people who tends to have this really weird condition. It's like the moment you are feeling like you are getting into a space where it's like dark and quiet and you're all on your own, that is the moment that I am 100% effective. You know, like that's the moment I am crushing it in life. So you're thinking I'm fine, but I'm just like trying to mask all of that. And my resolve for problems is just working extra hard so I don't have to think about what's going on in my head. Because trust me, the monkeys are loud. Woo! The monkeys be loud! But speaking of which, there is also this very specific issue that comes up with high-functioning depression. And as a person who's actually gone through this, you tend to have some level of imposter syndrome. Like you lose yourself to not knowing who you really are, yeah? And I found this out maybe 2 years ago, just before I met you. I'd been in a space where I didn't know who I was. Like I am just completely lost. If you ask me what I like, what am I into, and all of that, I just didn't know. So what would happen is I would copy paste what I feel is what I want to become, you know? So I'd find myself losing myself in like a lot of just digging up people's content, just constantly watching what other people are doing, and then maybe trying to mimic that because that for me feels like a successful person. That for me feels like a person who's actually in a good space mentally, physically, emotionally, or whatever it is that they were doing. So imposter syndrome is one of those things that is very prevalent in high-functioning depression. Right. And if you see someone who's not, I mean, you know them, but they're trying to be a little different. They seem fine, but they're just like, it's just like there's something's different about you. Please talk to them. They might actually be going through that.
I love it. I love that you actually, you know, even brought up this kind of depression because, you know, you have about 7 to 8 types of depression. But this kind of depression is one that people don't actually notice because we're so trained to look for the typical, you know, depression symptoms. Someone withdrawing, not eating, not performing at work, you know, in a toxic relationship, living on the eggshells of what I call life. But this kind of depression, it's actually called persistent depression because it's there with you all the time. And the kind of person that lives with this kind of depression, they actually are the last person to ever ask for help. They're the last person to go to therapy because they feel that they're so put together. They feel life is perfect. Life should be perfect. My life is great. Who am I to struggle with feeling low? And, you know, a lot of the times trauma, grief, different things that happen enable you to feel I'm going through depression right now because that's part of one of the stages of grieving. But somebody like this almost feels like life is working for me. How can I be ungrateful? I should consistently be perfect. And they walk around with a mask on the time, all the time, that's literally smiling on the top. So you and you will see me smiling all the time. But inside, I cannot understand, why can I not keep this up? So it's very hard to actually spot this type of depression. And the best way is to really be able to be there for someone. And when you ask somebody, are you okay? Take the time to actually listen to, are you okay? And for somebody like this, the easiest way is when you start talking about what you've gone through or what you're feeling. It allows them to feel a little normal, because they're not used to feeling normal. They're used to feeling, I live at a level that always excels. So this depression is very, very interesting. A lot of CEOs, high corporate people will suffer this a lot.
Right, and I like how you brought that up, because a lot of times, like, you expect someone's life to be in shambles and that's why you're depressed,
Yes.
or what your opinion of shambles may be.
Yes.
But then other people are like, why you upset? You just got a promotion. Why you mad? So you just got a brand new car. Why you sad? Your child just passed their exams. It's like you need an excuse, a reason to be depressed. But sometimes you are just depressed. You can be going through so many different things, which, according to me, is not a reason to be crying just because I've slept on the, how like the level of struggle, it sometimes puts the people on like how much to respect your depression. You know what I mean? If you've been homeless, then why I feel for you. But until you weren't able to pay for your mansion this month, now you're crying. Like, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. We also need to be sensitive about what people are going through at the different stage of life they may be at. So just because you are going through something that's more traumatic and somehow you're able to survive and somehow you're able to still go through with it, they might not be able to do that if it's something that's even like less than what you've ever gone through in life. So I think we have that in, like, especially in the African context. It's like, you are not struggling. Let me give you something to cry about. Why are you crying over here about something so small? Another one, if you see this, you can see this in some of your high functioning depressed people, is they are busy taking a break. They are always busy. Taking a break is not in their books. They will never take that break. They are consistently working. They're consistently doing something. They consistently have a project. They're just busy. Every time it's busy. It's even hard for you to even have time to spend with them because they are always doing something. And like you were saying, when you are busy, you don't have time to think about what's actually depressing you. It's not able to be in your mind. So like that consistently being busy can be a way of them trying to self-medicate so they don't have to think about what they're going through in their life.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I'm telling you, people are just like, you will not see it in the face of someone all the time. And again, I'll give you an example of a period of time when I was going through some craziness, and I honestly had 3 jobs. I would literally sleep 2 hours because it is just, I have to be on the move. And it got so bad to some extent because like 6 months of sleeping 2 hours is crazy. You can't, it's not sustainable.
Right.
At some point you will have a breaking point. And the problem is when you break and you're not well placed to manage what's going on, it can cause a lot of downtime, which isn't productive. So again, let's be all the way honest. If you are going through busy periods, sometimes you're not depressed, you're just fine, yeah? But if you're feeling like there's just a lot of worry like hanging over your shoulder, there's just something bothering you and you can't put your finger on it, maybe try and talk to someone. Just talking sometimes helps you to find a way of mapping out what's going on in your mind. You can't always know what's going on when it's in the back of, when it's your subconscious that is going through it. It's not always, consciously felt. You can't consciously tell that this is actually, something's wrong here. It will be your body will be extremely exhausted. It will just be like your body will always tell you what's happening in the back of your mind. So when you start exhibiting symptoms like overexhaustion, you're constantly running around like a headless chicken, you're spacing out every 2 seconds, like you can't concentrate or hold a thought in your mind for longer than a minute. These are signs that something else is going on and you need to sit down with yourself and figure it out, like break it down in parts. And talking to someone helps you just like see, like map out a few things. You'll be like, oh yeah, wait. And then, oh, okay. And then, oh, okay. And then eventually it's a circle and you're like, damn, I need help. Yeah.
I love that. And I would just say also there's always a root cause to why something happens. And you just learn over childhood to mask emotions and to mask layers. And, you grow up being something for somebody in different stages of your life. And by the time you hit your 20s and you're trying to discover who you are, you have so many filters and masks on top of you. I mean, we walk around with a mask right now and it makes it hard to breathe. Imagine putting 20 of those on. You wouldn't be able to breathe and see. And sometimes that's how you are internally. You're emotionally suffocated.
Right.
So one of the tips I give people, and it's this simple, is truly for someone who's experiencing this kind of depression, is literally to slow down. And people take for granted or literally get scared of meditation. Meditation is not silencing the mind, because you truly cannot. It's not sitting in a perfect uncomfortable pose, where you feel like I just pulled my sciatica, that's not what it's all about. Meditation is literally about getting to know who you are inside. Yeah. And if you can do it every single morning, just 5 minutes to start and 5 minutes when you go to bed, the meditation is literally to go through your day and think about, how could I have done it better? What could I have changed? What could I have improved? And where do I need to make more time for myself in between the day, where I feel valued and my self-worth comes on top as well? So you start unlayering all these masks and you're able to breathe, but soulfully, spiritually breathe. So you're not living life for the external world, but you tap right back into who you internally are again.
Yeah, and to Kenyanize that, I think this is something that actually I discovered on my own during just long periods of thinking. Do you know, is it just me, but when you pray, you feel like you're talking to someone, but there's really no one you're talking to. That's a form of meditation. Sometimes you actually realize, wait, I'm not actually praying. I am talking to someone about all the things that I want, all the things that I need, all my hopes and dreams. And that person is your inner person. In those periods of you praying, it's pretty much you meditating, you telling yourself what you need to do. As in, God, I want you to give me 1,000 shillings tomorrow because I need to go to work, because I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do the other thing. That's you actually breaking down exactly what you need to do for tomorrow. That's you trying to convince yourself that this is what I need to do tomorrow in order for me to make sure that the next day isn't as bad as today. So if you don't understand meditation in the most, basic form that Shazmin tried to explain to you, think about it in that aspect of it's literally, if you go and sit down with yourself and pray, you will literally tell yourself everything that you need. You will decompress all the things that are in the back of your mind, and they will all come to the foreground, and you will understand, oh, so this is what I need to do. This is where I need to go, and all of that. Just think about it.
Journaling. Yeah. People think journaling is just, it's complicated, it's not something I want to do. But when you journal, you take all the initial gunk that is always just looping in your conscious mind, and you've put it down. So what you do is you actually allow yourself a chance to tap into your subconscious mind and go, right, what else? What else is going on in there that I need to sort out? And a secret to a problem, Albert Einstein actually used to do this, was, he would, before he'd go to bed or ever take a nap, he would ask himself the problem in the right way. So he would ask himself the question to the problem, and he would give it over to his subconscious mind, and he would say, I'm asking you to solve it, because the answer is in there. It's not in my conscious realm. And when he would wake up, he would keep a diary next to him, because either in the form of a dream or an answer, it would come. And you can't remember that in the morning. So that's the greatest gift, is journaling. Make way to your conscious mind to reach your subconscious mind, because that realm is so powerful. It's unbelievable.
I love that. I am so doing that. Like, I am so doing that.
I used to try to journal. Like, my biggest fear was like someone going and looking at all my secrets.
No, but you can do it on it on your phone and have that as a hidden. You can download an app which helps you to like hide that stuff.
Right.
Yeah, like a private app, a privatization.
Yeah, because I'm just like, hey, one day I'll be like 80 on my deathbed, and then like my things will be found, and like,
all
she did what
place.
at 16,
Yeah.
and then she did what at 20. what? But like, it really is, like, you can even just journal, not necessarily all the things that you've gone through and done, but like even how you're feeling.
Or your day.
Yeah. I love the fact that you broke it down in a way that I never thought about. Because like when you journal, most of the time it's just usually like a lot of gibberish and just bogus that's going on. But that's just you offloading all of that nonsense that's on the top layer,
In your
and then
safe
allowing yourself to go back to the things that are hidden, the layers and the. That. Oh my God, I learned so many things when she's around.
I know, right? It's like classes in session. If you are at home right now, you don't have your pen and paper out, I'm looking at you sideways, but you can still catch us on YouTube, so you're lucky. We also have people who, another way to spot someone who's a high-functioning depressed person is they tend to cover up by expressing themselves through jokes and smiling. That's why there's this whole thing about like some of our favorite comedians out there are truly highly depressed and everything and going through so many issues. They also rarely concentrate as much and have difficulty making decisions. That being able to actually just concentrate on the one thing, because you're so quickly jumping from one thing to the next, so you don't have to think too much about what's going on in your life. That also affects now how your decision-making process, because you're not truly focusing on that specific thing. So hopefully we've helped you out a little bit. You've been able to look through the signs and the symptoms and check in on your happiest, bestest friend and sister and brother, whoever it is that's in your life. Just check in on everybody.
Yeah, I love that. Now, considering the fact that we've just been told it's important to concentrate, let's concentrate on the fact that we've had such a heavy conversation. Let's break it down and, try and do a